Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is warm, but we are so glad you're here today with us. I am George Leibowitz, Dean of the School of Social Work. We're so pleased to welcome all of you here today for this momentous occasion. Please welcome our own director of the Doctor of Social Work program, Dr. E. Goldblatt Hyatt, to the podium to lead us in singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Stupendous. Good afternoon, distinguished faculty, honored guests, families, friends, and especially the graduating class of 2026 of the Rutgers School of Social Work. This year marks the largest graduating MSW class in our almost 70-year history of the School of Social Work. There are 758 of you graduating this year, and all of you, big round of applause to all of you. And all of you across all our programs, bachelor's, MSW, DSW, and PhD programs, are truly one of the most diverse group of students in the country. That number represents not only your collective achievement, but also hope for the profession. Hope is embodied in all of you in this space as clinicians, advocates, community organizers, researchers, policy leaders, and community-engaged practitioners who are preparing to enter a world that urgently needs your courage and compassion. Graduates, no one earns a degree alone. Legal scholar Claire Huntington argues that the law should be oriented towards promoting strong, stable, positive relationships in families, especially between parents and their children, she argues. It is essential for families, for individuals, and for society. She further argues that the law can help families flourish instead of replicating practices in our justice and child welfare systems that place strain on families. Neighborhoods and communities matter, schools matter, families matter. The relationship we grow up with as children influence our experience in schools and the kinds of relationships we envision for ourselves as adults. Moreover, we know from research that student success and persistence is associated with strong family and social engagement and ties. And when academic and social resources are aligned, the likelihood of positive outcomes dramatically improves. To the parents, partners, children, grandparents, mentors, friends, and loved ones who supported you through difficult times, financial sacrifice, and moments indeed of cognitive dissonance, This achievement belongs to you too. And to the faculty, staff, alumni, endless source of folks at this school that mentored and support you, I know they relished every moment of this journey being with you. Now let's take another moment to acknowledge and recognizing all of those that were by your side every step of the way. Graduates, many of you have shared with us your stories that exemplify the power of that persistence and the power of these families and relationships that are here with you today. Many of you told us that despite significant health challenges, stress, and loss, many of you not only completed your degree, you also completed a certificate from one of our rigorous specialized programs, for example, and your families, your children, and your parents get to watch you cross this stage today. Today, we are celebrating, among many exemplars in our school, sibling and mother-daughter dyads. Imagine that. Michelle Franzoso is a graduate of our intensive weekend program and a member of our Mays Landing cohort. Her daughter, also here today, Jasmine Grant, is graduating from the traditional program in New Brunswick. Today, both mother and daughter receive their MSW degree. And siblings, Alessa and Joseph Manuola, are graduating with their MSW degrees today as well. A round of applause to both of the sibling dyads. I don't need to tell you, graduates, you're completing a social work degree at a moment of profound challenge and profound possibility. Around the world, democracies feel increasingly fragile. Civil discourse has become extraordinarily challenging. The phenomena of social fragmentation, hierarchy, inequality, and justice-related concerns intersect persistently. We see this in child poverty rates that have persisted for decades. We see this in the growing mental health crisis affecting young people and adults across the lifespan. We see this in social isolation among older adults, in widening health disparities, with recent research published by the National Academy of Science finding negative social ties are risk factors for accelerated aging and multimorbidities. All of you, as professional social workers, are ready to be at the forefront of addressing the key drivers of population and community health outcomes. In every context, you have the ability to affect policy change locally and globally. You are also, needless to say, grappling with the promises of ethical artificial intelligence and the promises and challenges of technology to solve pressing social problems and improve health and behavioral health outcomes. The social philosopher and institutional builder Ajume Wingo upholds that in an era in a struggle for civil rights, widespread poverty and inequality, the focus on dignity is what gives modern democracy its distinctive character. Today, social workers in partnerships with our colleagues in all the allied disciplines work harder to confer dignity upon the disenfranchised and upon all human beings. And as civics scholar Eric Liu of Citizen University recently stated to the Rutgers community, you are more powerful than you think, and it is important to meet people where they hurt. This is integral to social work. Indeed, compassion is part of our justice-focused roots in diverse societies where people have complicated histories with each other. This is at the heart of social work. Social workers understand that promoting dignity is not symbolic work. It represents our commitment to restorative justice and core to our values. Fostering mutually supportive, shared, and restorative systems are much like entering the correct code in a combination lock. You remember combination locks when we had them? All the tumblers fall into place and the lock opens. You are entering into a profession that asks you to hold both realities at once, the intimate human narrative and the larger social systems embedded in that narrative. When you began your social work education, you first got to talk about following your passions Do you remember when you wrote your autobiographical essay why you wanted to get into the program? You wanted to go out into the world to address these realities. Now you get to talk about how to keep it together while you're out in this world. This is the message. Without unceasing practice, nothing can be done. Practice is art. Keep doing it. Daily practice is necessary for creative and intellectual growth and for indeed life itself. Practice compassion, listening, hope, and humility. And finally, I leave you with these thoughts about sustaining yourself in this world ahead. Stay open like the combination lock. Offer goodness and joint acceptance to the communities and clients you serve, and accept that goodness from others. Relish in the epistemic, advance knowledge and keep learning, stay connected, learn from both the negative and positive experiences that life will bring you, because you are guaranteed to have both. Class of 2026, the world needs your wisdom, your leadership, and your goodness. Congratulations, Rutgers School of Social Work graduates. We could not be more proud of you. At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing members of the platform party behind me. Guests, faculty, and school leadership, please stand and be recognized. Please welcome from National Association of Social Work New Jersey and National Association of Social Work Pennsylvania, Dr. Tiffany Myers. Please welcome Trustee Emeritus and Rutgers University alum Wilma Harris, who is joining us today in support of her family friend and our own DSW graduate, Jillian Kane. Please welcome our convocation speaker, Dr. Michael Lindsay. More about Dr. Lindsay in a moment. Please welcome Rutgers University, New Brunswick Provost, Dr. Jason Geary. And please welcome Rutgers University, New Brunswick Chancellor, Dr. Francine Conway. Dr. Jason Geary is Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at Rutgers, New Brunswick, overseeing 14 schools and colleges and leading initiatives to enhance student success and research excellence. He previously served as Dean of Mason Gross School of the Arts, where he launched several interdisciplinary collaborations, including an Arts in Health program. Dr. Geary has held leadership roles at the University of Michigan and the University of Maryland, and he is nationally recognized in arts and as a higher education leader. He is a widely published musicologist with a focus on 19th century Germany and holds a PhD from Yale University. Please welcome Provost Jason Geary.
Good afternoon. And to the graduates of the Rutgers School of Social Work, congratulations. I know the road hasn't always been easy, but here you are. As I thought about what I wanted to share with you, it occurred to me that unlike the groups made up mostly of undergraduates that I've been addressing over the last couple of weeks, this graduating class is a bit more, shall we say, seasoned. Many of you already have college degrees, have already been in the workforce and continue to work while obtaining your degrees. And even those of you graduating with your Bachelor of Arts in Social Work, I have to imagine, possess a level of fortitude, grit, and resilience that you don't find in just any undergraduate student. Because you surveyed the world out there with all of its problems and all of the reasons to be concerned about our very existence as a species, and decided that you wanted to confront those problems head-on by becoming a social worker. And I'm so glad that you did. I'm thankful that all of you have chosen the path that you have, because when I look out at the world, I know that it desperately needs everything your profession has to offer. Now, I'm guessing it hasn't escaped your notice that even between the time you began your degree and now, the world has only grown more complicated. There's looming economic uncertainty, increasing political polarization, growing distrust in institutions, a widespread mental health crisis, and now AI reshaping the labor market and threatening to replace human interaction with literal robots. And as if that weren't enough, you've got folks in Washington with the audacity to say that somehow social work doesn't qualify as a profession in the eyes of the federal government. Well, I'm here to say that not only is social work a profession in every sense of the term, but it's one that promises to help us navigate the many challenges that we face as a society and as a nation now and into the future. While it can be tempting to see all these problems and give in to a kind of quiet despair, one of the great privileges of working in higher education is the hope and optimism that comes from seeing the next generation take the reins. And what I see is a generation prepared to confront these challenges, one that is thoughtful, resilient, and deeply committed to making the world a better place. Social work is especially important in this moment because your field begins with a recognition that people don't exist in isolation. Human beings are shaped by families, neighborhoods, institutions, systems, relationships, and communities. You understand that individual struggles are often reflections of broader social conditions and that meaningful change requires not only compassion, but also engagement. And this perspective is important because we live in a world that, while it's more technologically connected than ever before, is in many ways more divided and more disconnected than ever. When people feel isolated, unseen, or disconnected from the communities around them, that affects mental health. It affects trust. It can even affect the very foundations of our democracy, especially in an age of social media. The journalist Walter Lippmann has warned that the news and the truth are not the same thing, and that democracy is at risk when the public is being guided in what to think, rather than simply informed. What's perhaps most notable about his words is they were written not recently, as you might imagine, but more than 100 years ago, in 1922. They were written against a backdrop in which America had recently emerged from a deadly pandemic and was experiencing political violence, new restrictions on immigration, and extreme income inequality fueled by the excesses of the Roaring '20s. Sound familiar? That period, as you know, did not end particularly well. It gave way to the Great Depression, and in the broader global context, to the Second World War. But it also led to something else here in the United States. Not a rise in fascism, as in Europe, but a rethinking of institutions and the development of new government policies and frameworks that would reshape society for decades to come, including the New Deal, empowerment for the working class, and eventually the era of civil rights. In fact, one of Roosevelt's chief advisors at the time of the New Deal was Harry Hopkins, who was trained as a social worker. The point here is that moments of disruption are also moments of possibility. They are moments when new ideas emerge, when new systems are built, and when people step up to create paths forward where none previously existed. And that's where all of you come in. As social workers, you will change lives in ways that are immediate and profound, whether through research, policy, crisis intervention, counseling, or clinical practice. And sometimes, just by making someone feel heard, respected, valued, or less alone. So as you leave Rutgers and begin the next chapter of your lives, I hope you carry with you not only the knowledge and skills you've gained here, but also the sense of purpose that brought you to this profession in the first place. And I know I speak for everyone seated up here when I say we can't wait to see how you're going to live out that promise. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you for those inspiring remarks, Provost Geary. I am now honored that we are joined today by Rutgers New Brunswick Chancellor, Dr. Francine Conway. She came to Rutgers to serve as Dean of the Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology in 2016. While she is a professional psychologist, she has a number of connections to the social work profession. She has and as well as to our own School of Social Work. She earned her undergraduate degree from Cornell and has an MSW degree from Columbia University before going on to get her PhD in psychology at Adelphi. In addition, her sister earned her PhD in social work from our school, and her husband is a social worker who served on the faculty here at our school for several years. You can see the 2 degrees of separation. Thus, Dr. Conway is someone who knows and understands our profession and our school very well. Throughout her career, Chancellor Conway has made significant contributions to the field of clinical psychology, having treated children in hospitals and private practice for more than 2 decades. She became involved in higher education at Adelphi University, where she served as faculty member and researcher for 13 years before joining Rutgers as dean. After her distinguished service as dean at Rutgers, Dr. Conway joined the Rutgers New Brunswick Central Administration as provost before assuming her current role as chancellor. It has been my pleasure to work with Dr. Chancellor Conway since she came to Rutgers, and I'm delighted that she is able to join us here today. Please give a round of applause to Chancellor Conway.
Thank you so much to members of the board, Dean Leibowitz, faculty and staff, families and friends. Thank you for being here. I want to start by saying congratulations to the class of 2026. Let me begin by bringing you to a Tuesday afternoon at my kitchen table. My son was supposed to be doing his homework. His pencil was tapping, his eyes were everywhere except on the page, and I could feel myself getting frustrated. He has ADHD, I know that. I'm a psychologist. I've written about attention and regulation, and I've sat across from parents to explain exactly what is happening in their child's mind. And in that moment, none of that helped me. I was not thinking, here comes dysregulation. I was thinking, why is he making this harder than it needs to be? I was certain that I understood him. And in that moment, I understood him the least. Then I caught myself, I paused, and I saw something different. Not defiance, not laziness, but a mind moving faster than he could manage. Nothing about the situation changed, but everything about my understanding did. There's a word for what I failed to do in that moment. We refer to it as mentalization. It's about holding other people's mind in your mind, which means paying attention to what is happening inside another person, inside our own mind, and resisting the temptation to think that we already know. It is not the same as empathy, because empathy lets us feel what another person is feeling. Mentalization, on the other hand, is a discipline of wondering, what is this other person carrying? What else might be behind their behavior? You've spent many years training to do this, to stay curious when others would judge, to see the person, not just a case. You are better at this than most people in the world, but you did not get here alone. The faculty and staff, families and friends, you have been modeled how to think about others. You have seen the person becoming a professional, and the kind of attention that you've given to our graduates shapes lives. And it is the work that our students are about to inherit. You're walking into a world and doing work that the world cannot do without. You will face caseloads that are unsafe, systems that fail families, perhaps more painful stories that you wish you could unhear, whose outcomes will not always be the ones you hope for. The discipline of mentalization will protect you, and it will also protect your clients. So here's what I wish someone had said to me when I was sitting where you are. The same curiosity that you offer your clients, it's the same curiosity you must give yourselves. You should also extend that curiosity to your colleagues, to your family members. One day, a case may break your heart. You may be tempted to ask, what is wrong? The better question is, what am I carrying? On the day that you snap at a colleague or shut down at home or feel nothing where you're used to feeling everything, the impulse would be to judge yourself. The discipline is to get curious instead. This is how social workers stay social workers. Pause. Ask one more question of them and of yourself. So as you leave here, I hope you carry this with you. Not just the drive to achieve, but the willingness to pause. Not just the confidence to lead, but the curiosity to understand. Not just the certainty of what you know, but the courage to ask, what might you be missing? And not only on behalf of the people you serve, but on behalf of yourselves. I think back to that afternoon at my kitchen table. Nothing about it looked important at the time, but it changed how I see my son, and in some ways, how I see everything else. You will have moments like that. They will not announce themselves, but a pause before you answer goes a long way. A question that you can ask, a client that you may have already given up on, they will not feel important when that happens. Those moments may not feel important when they happen, but they will be the moments that shape the kind of social worker and the kind of person you will become. So, wherever this work takes you, may you have the courage to pause. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Chancellor Conway. Each year, we recognize faculty and staff members for their excellence. These awards are particularly significant because the recipients are nominated by all of you, our students. Thank you for nominating your favorite and inspiring professors. As I announce these awards, would the faculty members please stand and be recognized? Let's try, if we can, to hold our applause until all are recognized. So, The award for Outstanding Professor in the Clinical Specialization goes to two of us, Mary Beth Ali and Dr. Tawanda Hubbard. The award for Outstanding Professor in the Management and Policy Specialization goes also to two of us, Dr. Vivian Anthony and Mark Lamar. The award for Outstanding Professor for Excellence in Inclusion, Intersectionality, Diversity, Equity, and Advancement Teaching goes to Dr. Maxine Davis. The Most Supportive Professor Award goes to Ryan DeMeglio. The Innovative and Creative Teaching Award goes to, hold on to your seats, Dr. Dwayne Battle, and again to Dr. Tawanda Hubbard. We have many lecturers in our school who teach in all of our programs. They are extraordinarily valued. They are leaders in their social work practice fields, and we are honored to have them work with us at the school. Someday, some of you will indeed join them as faculty members here at the school. This year's Outstanding Lecturer Award goes to Frank Green Agel and Adelina Garabet Mitchell. We also recognize the work of an instructor who is also a student in one of our doctoral programs. The Outstanding Doctoral Student Teaching Award goes to Andrew Kim. We also honor our staff members who make tremendous contributions to our students. This year, the winners of the Most Supportive Staff Award are Shantea King and Tatiana Bonds. Round of applause to all of them for their incredible accomplishments. Now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our esteemed Convocation speaker, Dr. Michael A. Lindsay. He is currently the Dean of the NYU Silver School of Social Work and an Aspen Institute Fellow. Dr. Lindsay is a leading scholar in child and adolescent mental health and an expert on Black youth suicide. He has advised the Congressional Black Caucus on Black Youth Suicide and chaired the working group of experts behind the influential report, Ring the Alarm, the Crisis of Black Youth Suicide in America. He is president of the American Academy of Social Work and Social Welfare, a distinguished fellow of the National Academies of Practice in Social Work, and serves on the New York City Board of Health. Previously, Dr. Lindsay was executive director of the NYU McSilver Institute for Poverty, Policy, and Research. He serves on the editorial boards of Administration and Policy in Mental Health and Mental Health Services Research, Journal of Clinical Child and Adolescent Psychology, Psychiatric Services, and School Mental Health. The politics news outlet City and State New York has recognized him in the 2026 Trailblazers in Healthcare list, and prior Power lists cover health, higher education, and mental health. He holds a PhD in MPH, both from the University of Pittsburgh, an MSW from Howard University, and a BA from Morehouse College. Please put your hands together and join me in welcoming Dr. Lindsay to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I want to bring someone in the room. I'm a preacher's kid, a PK as they call them. And today is my dad's heavenly birthday. And so, in the time-honored tradition of the church, I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, "Neighbor, congratulations, we did it." And give yourself a round of applause. Before I begin, I want to tell you a story. Early in my career, I met a young person not unlike many you will meet in your own work. This was a teenager who had been through more than even most adults could imagine. Multiple systems, multiple disruptions, multiple moments where the message, spoken or unspoken, was the same. You don't matter. I remember sitting across from this young person in a small room trying to figure out what I could possibly say that would make a difference. So I asked a simple question. I said, "What do you need right now?" And he looked at me, and after a long and what seemed to be distant silence, he said, "I just need someone to stay. Not fix everything, not solve everything, just stay." Sometimes the most powerful intervention is your presence. Not your title, not your training, not your expertise. Your willingness to show up and not leave. And that is when I began to understand social work is not just about what you do. It is about who you are willing to be in the presence of someone else's struggle. Good afternoon, graduates. Chancellor Conway, Provost Geary, Dean Leibowitz, faculty, families, loved ones, and all who made this day possible. Today is not simply a milestone. It is a moment of transformation. A moment when everything you've studied, everything you have sacrificed, everything you have endured begins to take shape in the lives of others. Because from this day forward, your knowledge will begin to move beyond your studies. It will live in conversations, in decisions, in moments of crisis, and in moments where a single choice, your choice, can change the course of a life. So let me ask you a question. Why did you choose this path? Because no one drifts into social work. No one accidentally signs up to confront pain, to challenge injustice, to walk into spaces where hope feels fragile. You chose this. And that choice places you in a lineage that includes Jane Addams, who refused to ignore poverty when it was easier to look away. W.E.B. Du Bois, who insisted that rigorous data could expose injustice and force a nation to confront it, who used data not just to understand injustice, but to dismantle it. Dorothy Height, who understood that dignity must be fought for at the intersections of identity, who stood at the intersection of race and gender and demanded dignity for Black women when the world would not. And Martin Luther King Jr., who reminded us that the moral arc of the universe bends toward justice, but only if we bend it, and who reminded us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. These were not just leaders, but people who refused to accept the world as it is. Some were social workers, others social workers in spirit, all architects of a more just society. And now, so are you. Early in my career, I met a young person who changed everything for me. His name was Lionel. Lionel was 14 years old. I remember the first time I met him. Standing about 5'4". He wore a heavy Eddie Bauer jacket. He didn't walk into the room like a child. He walked in like someone who had already lived too much life. He scanned the room before he sat down, calculated, careful, trying to decide who I was and whether I mattered. He leaned back, arms crossed, and before I could begin, he said, "You can't help me." Not angry, not defensive, certain. Lionel was already known in his community. He was the mastermind behind a car theft ring, one of the biggest drug dealers in his neighborhood. People twice his age answered to him at just 14 years old. But what stayed with me was not what he did. It was what it took for him to survive. Over time, I got to know him. And one day, almost casually, he said, "I was born in jail." No buildup, no emotion, just truth. You see, his mother was incarcerated when she gave birth to him. And in that moment, I realized something that changed my perception of him. Before Lionel ever made a choice, choices had already been made about him. Before he ever stepped into a classroom, systems had already shaped his path. Before anyone asked who he might become, the world had already decided who he would be. There were moments, small moments, where I saw a child that he still was. A laugh that came out unexpectedly, a moment where he dropped his guard, just enough. I found myself wondering, what would his life have been if the conditions had been different? At that time, I thought it was my job to fix Lionel, to redirect him, to intervene, to change his choices. But Lionel taught me something I've never forgotten. The question is not what is wrong with this child. The question is, what happened to this child and what systems made that possible? Years later, I received a call. Lionel had been murdered in prison. I was asked to speak at his funeral, and I remember standing there, looking at a room filled with grief, with anger, with unanswered questions. And in that moment, I understood something I carry to this day. Lionel did not fail. We failed Lionel. We failed him long before we ever labeled him a problem. And standing there, I became even more resolute in a decision I made years earlier. That would be that I would spend my life simply not just responding to crises. I would continue the work to change the conditions that created it. Graduates, Lionel's story is not unique. That is the truth. And that is why your work matters. You will sit with individuals in their most vulnerable moments, but you will also see the systems behind those moments. You will see how policy becomes practice, how practice becomes experience, how experience becomes outcomes. And in that space, you will have a choice to adapt to the system as it is or to transform it into what it must become. This work will test you. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when barriers feel immovable, days when the weight is heavy. But remember this, every life you touch is a universe, and we must persist in changing that universe. When I think about what it means to persist, I think about Harriet Tubman, who returned after escaping slavery to guide others to freedom again and again. I think of Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years in prison and emerged not with bitterness, but with vision. People who understood that justice requires endurance. And now that responsibility belongs to you. If they could do that under unimaginable conditions, then you, with your training, your knowledge, and your compassion, can transform the communities you will serve. As you step into this work, you're doing so at a moment in history that will ask even more of you. In recent years, decisions by the Supreme Court of the United States have reshaped the landscape of voting rights in this country. In Shelby County versus Holder, key protections of the Voting Rights Act were struck down, removing federal preclearance that once prevented discriminatory changes before they happened. In Brnovich versus the Democratic National Committee, the court narrowed how challenges to voting restrictions can be brought under the law. And although, and even in cases like Allen versus Milligan, where aspects of voting rights protections were upheld, the broader trajectory remains complex. Just last month in Louisiana versus Calais, the court signaled that redistricting with racially discriminating consequences may be permissible, so long as discriminatory intent is not explicitly asserted. I want us to sit with that for a moment. Because what that means practically, historically, morally, is that outcomes can still disadvantage communities even when the language of discrimination is absent. Now, for many, that may sound like a technical, legal distinction. But for us, for those of us who understand history, it is something much deeper. Because there were generations of our ancestors who were not denied the vote through political or polite language or technical arguments. They were denied through force, through law, through violence, through fear. They were told explicitly that their voice did not matter, and yet they persisted. They organized, they marched, they risked everything. People like Fannie Lou Hamer, who was beaten for trying to register to vote. For people who crossed bridges knowing they may not make it to the other side. People who understood that the right to vote was not just about casting a ballot, it was about claiming their full humanity. And so when we talk about voting rights today, we're not just talking about policy. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about whether the sacrifices of those who came before us are honored in the systems we build right now. We're talking about whether access to voice, access to representation, access to power is real or simply symbolic. Because for our ancestors, the franchise was never abstract. It was hard-earned. It was protected with their bodies. It was secured with their lives. And so the question for us is not just, what does the law allow? The question is, what does justice require? Consider what that means for voter representation going forward. It means that access to participation, access to voice, access to representation is not fixed. It is contested. It is evolving. And it is in many ways fragile. Fragile for Black and brown communities, fragile for women, for immigrants, for indigenous peoples, for the poor, for those with disabilities, for anyone who represents a marginalized group, and for anyone whose voice has never had to fight harder just to be heard. You might ask, why does this matter to social work? Well, let me tell you. It matters because voting rights are not separate from the work you will do. They shape who has power. They shape which communities are heard. They shape whether the systems you are trying to change will respond or remain unchanged. And so your responsibility does not end at the individual level. It extends to the systems that govern opportunity, equity, and justice. You are entering a profession that has always stood at the intersection of care and justice. A profession that understands that healing individuals without addressing the systems around them is simply not enough. So yes, do the work of care, but also stay engaged. Stay aware. Stay committed to ensuring that every community has a voice. Because that same courage that it takes to sit with someone in crisis is the courage that it takes to stand up for the systems that work for everyone. So hear me clearly. There will come a moment where you are tired, when the work feels too heavy, when the systems feel too slow to change. A moment when someone looks at you just like Lionel did and says, "You can't help me." And in that moment, you must decide who you are. Will you step back or will you step forward? Will you accept what is broken, or will you keep fighting patiently, persistently, relentlessly to make it better? Because this is what social work is. It is a decision. It is a decision again and again and again and again and again and again and again to show up. It's a decision to stand in the gap, to fight for those who have been overlooked, to believe when it is hard, to believe that justice is worth the effort. So go forward. Be the ones who do not look away. Be the ones who do not accept injustice as inevitable. Be the ones who build systems worthy of the people they serve. Be the ones who make it possible for every voice to matter. Be the ones to ensure that the next Lionel has not only a different ending, but a different beginning. There will be moments, and many of them, when the world pulls you in different directions. Moments when your ambition says, go, but your fear says, wait. When your training says, be objective, but your humanity says, lean in. And in those moments, the greatest battle you will fight will not be out there, but it will be within you. Because inside of each of us is a chorus of voices. The voice of doubt, the voice of urgency, the voice of responsibility, the voice of hope. Most people spend their lives trying to silence one voice with another, trying to dominate its way to clarity. But I've learned something different. I've learned to stay curious when the inner parts within us, that dialogue disagrees. I've learned to let the inner dialogue replace the dominant voice that seeks to have its way over the others. Not every voice inside you is meant to win, but every voice has something to teach, whether that voice is fear or hope. And if you can learn to listen, truly listen, you won't just make better decisions. You will become a better leader, a better partner, a better architect of change. Because the same skill it takes to hold that complexity within yourself is the same skill it takes to hold complexity in the world. And make no mistake, the world you are walking into is complex. Congratulations, class of 2026. I will leave you now with how I started. Sometimes your most powerful intervention is your presence, not your title, not your training, not your expertise. Social work is not just about what you do. It is about who you are willing to be in the presence of someone else's struggles. Now go and do the work to change the world. Peace be unto you.
It will be of no surprise to any of you that we would like to now present Dr. Lindsay with the 2026 Voice for Social Justice Award. Okay. We have now reached the point that our graduates have been working toward and their families are waiting for. The point in which each of you, each graduate, will be recognized. It is my pleasure to begin with the two highest degrees, the school awards, the Doctor of Philosophy, or PhD degree, and the Doctor of Social Work, DSW degree. I am pleased to introduce, to my left, Dr. Cassandra Simmel, Director of our PhD program, who will announce the PhD awards and introduce the new PhD graduates.
Good afternoon. I will first announce the recipients of the dissertation awards. As I announce your name, please stand at your chair to be recognized. And I'll also ask the chair of the dissertation to stand as well. The honorable mention for the Dean's Dissertation Award goes to Nicole Milano for her work, which was an examination of geographic and demographic factors related to access to health care in New Jersey, and it was chaired by Dr. Aisha Akinzajil. The Dean's Award for Outstanding Dissertation goes to Melanie Yu for her work, which is an exploration of refugee-driven and centered study of reciprocity and how this contributes to addressing social disconnection and exclusion among refugees. And I was very proud to serve as Melanie's chair. You may be seated. I will now announce the recipients of the faculty awards, and these are voted on by the PhD student body. The Excellence and Faculty Mentoring in the PhD program, this award goes to Dr. Judy McCoy. And the PhD Professor of the Year award goes to Dr. Felix Muchamba. And now, Dean Leibowitz. I am pleased to present to you today the 2026 PhD degree candidates. They have completed all the requirements and are therefore entitled to all the rights and privileges of the PhD degree. I ask you to step forward and the chair to come forward to hood them. We have Nicole Milano, whose dissertation is chaired by Dr. Aisha Akinzajil, and it's entitled, I need your blue card. Exploring Spatial Accessibility to Primary Care in New Jersey. And Melanie Yu, and I was the chair, and her dissertation is entitled Refugee Reciprocity as a Critical Apparatus for Reimagining Resettlement Work, a Qualitative Examination of Refugee Reciprocity and Solidarity. Congratulations to our graduates. Thank you.
I am now pleased to introduce Dr. E. Goldblatt Hyatt, Director of the Doctor of Social Work program, and Dr. Judy McCoy, Associate Director of Doctoral Programs.
Dean Leibowitz, I am pleased to present to you today the 2026 Doctor of Social Work degree candidates. They have completed all the requirements and are therefore entitled to all the rights and privileges of the DSW degree.
Margarita Baldeo. Area of focus, the unseen weight of fatherhood, paternal mental health, and emotional labor in the postpartum period. Jeremy Robert Anthony Brinston, area of focus, socio-political identity and clinical social work practice. Kristen Ryan Brown, area of focus, social work with military members and veterans, specializing in military sexual trauma. Catherine A. Epps, area of focus, community forensic social work and supervision of individuals with serious mental illness. AJ Freno, area of focus, pleasure-informed sex education and support for LGBTQ+ youth and their families. Kayla Rose Hanley, area of focus, strengthening the mental health of law enforcement officers and their families. Bing G, area of focus, aging in place for community residing older adults. Jillian Kane, area of focus, the dialectic of being a DBT therapist and DBT client. Victoria M. Miller Butcher, area of focus, retention strategies for Black first-generation college students. Patricia Sienna Charisse Palmer, area of focus, health equity and culturally responsive care for Black and minority adolescent girls managing obesity. Dai Phan, area of focus, cultural identity of second-generation Vietnamese adult children of refugees. Samaza Sadek, area of focus, the salience of identity, community, and support in the experiences of relational others of transgender people. Kelly Ann Smith, area of focus, neuroplasticity, mindfulness, and meditation for students in professional programs.
Please welcome Interim Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Antoinette Farmer, to announce the MSW Student Award recipients. As the award winners' names are called, please stand to be recognized. In the interest of time, please let's try to hold our applause until all are announced.
The outstanding MSW student in the clinical specialization, Sydney Allison Scher. The outstanding MSW student in the clinical specialization, we have two persons in this category, Carolyn L. Guerrero. The outstanding MSW student in the MAP and policy specialization, Shalicia Diana Alba. The outstanding MSW student in the online program is Sean Zhang. The outstanding MSW student in the intensive weekend program, Jennifer Renee Moon. The outstanding MSW student in the blended program, Tamaris Nicole Marquez Pimentel. The outstanding MSW student studying in Newark, Joseph Benjamin Glicksberg. The outstanding MSW student studying in Camden, Shalisa Diana Alba. The outstanding MSW student studying in Brunswick, Emily Joy Shulman North.
Let's give them all a round of applause. Each year, we invite one of our students to deliver a student address. This year's student speaker is Caroline L. Guerrero. Caroline Guerrero is a first-generation student and immigrant from the Dominican Republic whose journey is rooted in resilience and strong commitment to service and community. Raised in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, she has remained deeply connected to the communities that shaped her while she earned an MSW degree with a clinical specialization and a certificate in Latinx initiatives for service, training, and assessment. Through her lived experience and work alongside immigration and underserved families, Caroline has developed a strong passion for advocacy, healing, and community-centered care. She shares that social work not only transformed the way she understands the world, but also helped her find her voice and recognize the power in advocating for herself and for others. She hopes to continue using her voice and lived experience to bring greater awareness to the immigrant adaptation experience and the emotional realities many families navigate while building a sense of belonging and stability in their lives. Please welcome our student speaker, Caroline Guerrero.
First, I want to say thank you, Dean Leibowitz, for that heartfelt introduction. Thank you so much. Y muy buenas tardes. Gracias. Muy buenas tardes a las familias, amistades, facultad, mentores y seres queridos que hoy nos acompañan en este momento tan especial. Good afternoon. Family, friends, faculty, and of course, the Rutgers School of Social Work graduating class of 2026. My name is Caroline Guerrero, and it is truly an honor to stand here before you today, not only to celebrate this milestone, but also to reflect on the experiences that brought us to this moment. And it is through those reflections that many of us came to realize that social work is not merely a career. It is a calling rooted in advocacy, compassion, and the belief that every individual deserves dignity, healing, and the freedom to fully live. And over time, this work begins to reveal itself in the way we see the world, the way we relate to others, and even the way we see ourselves. Throughout this profession, we begin to recognize how deeply we are influenced by the people, experiences, and generations that came before us, by culture, resilience, laws, relationships, and the invisible ways life leaves its mark on us over time. And in recognizing this interconnectedness, social work asks us to look beyond assumptions, beyond behaviors, and beyond labels, to meet people with greater care and with a deeper understanding of the impact we have the power to create. As a first-generation Latina and immigrant woman from the Dominican Republic, this journey became deeply personal and intergenerational for me. Coming to this country, learning a new language, navigating identity, adaptation, and trying to understand where I belonged in the world shaped not only the way I advocate for people today, but also the way I understand systems that were not always built for communities like mine in mind. And that is why I stand here today. Not only for myself, but for my family. Gracias a toda mi familia y a Dios por acompañarme durante este camino. I also stand here for immigrant communities, first-generation students, Latinx communities, LGBTQIA communities, and communities of color who have too often had to navigate systems that were not built for our stories, our languages, or our lived experiences in mind. And while these reflections are deeply personal to me, I know many of us discovered through this profession the people and communities we feel called to advocate for. I want to share that one of my most memorable takeaways I gained during my time at Rutgers came from Dean George Leibowitz, who reminded us that our responsibility as social workers is not only to meet people where they're at, but to meet them where they hurt. And that perspective has stayed with me, because pain may not always introduce itself clearly. Sometimes it sounds like anger, sometimes it looks like silence, sometimes it looks like survival. And in a world that often encourages disconnection, division, and indifference, social workers choose something different. We choose to respond with care. And today, as we prepare to walk across this stage, I hope we truly take a moment to recognize the significance of what we have accomplished. We are graduating from one of the top social work programs in the nation. A program that prepared us to lead with both knowledge and heart. And none of this would have been possible without the people that poured into us throughout this journey. To Dean Hunter, Dean Leibowitz, Dr. Elsa Candelario, Dr. Rachel John, our mentors, professors, classmates, families, and loved ones, thank you. Thank you for guiding us, challenging us, and most importantly, for believing in us. And if you feel comfortable, I want to invite you to say this with me. My voice matters. And the way I choose to show up in this world matters. There is no one else who can do this work in the exact way that you can. Through your story, your perspective, and the heart you bring into the spaces you enter. That's your superpower. And while this career asks us to care deeply for others, I also hope we remember to care for ourselves. Because the world will demand a lot from you. So protect your peace, protect your purpose, and protect the parts of yourself that make you human. Because now more than ever, this profession needs bold, visionary leaders who are unafraid to challenge injustice, advocate fiercely, and help create a more just world. One that understands that connection has the power to change lives. Congratulations, Rutgers School of Social Work graduating class of 2026, and thank you.
Thank you for such an incredibly inspiring speech. We now move on to recognize the largest number of degrees that the school awards the Master of Social Work. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Elsa Candelario, Director of MSW Program, who will be introducing our new MSW graduates.
Dean Leibowitz, I'm honored to present the 2026 MSW degree candidates. They've all completed all the requirements and are therefore entitled to all the rights and privileges of the MSW degree. Graduates, follow your marshal's directions as you come forward. Congratulations.
As they're coming across, if you can just guide them away so that they don't try to.
Showtime. Congratulations, Safa Kayed Abdul-Jabbar. Adekemi Oluwafioso Abigande Ojo. Sarah Michelle Adler. Indira Augusta Carrera. Stephanie Nelly Aguilar. Stephanie Brianna Amarino. Unique Claire Ain. Shalisa Deanna Alba, outstanding MSW student on the Camden campus and also outstanding MSW student in the MAP specialization. Lauren Almeida. Brian C. Ami. Sejal Amin. Sheila Agalagwa Amira. You look good, man. Amanda Rosa Amorin. Tashira Dorothea Amor. Grace Lynn Anderson. Carillas Andino. Anne Marie Andrews. Mara Abadaka. Gabriela Aponte. Marissa Ann Arbin. Michelle Ardanza. Carol Jeanette Arroyo. Momina Asif. Sorry. Stephanie Miriam Asanyan. Jamila Ive Austin. Rena G. Austin. Kayla Madeline Ayala. Emma Justine Byans. Malik Bailey. Max Bailey. Luke Bailey. Mary Beth Anna Baisden. Samantha L. Balling. Ashley Bartlett. Vilma Victoria Bezo. Wisdom Nikisha Belong. Jennifer Bell. Shakira T. Bell. Joshua L. Belmonte. Monique Renee Benito. Fiorella Donaray Benson. Bailey Jean Bertrand. Jayla Best. Karan Best. Nicole Bivens. Imani Blackwell. Lauren Brooke Bloomer. Laura Allison Bortnick. Lakia Michelle Bradley. Kelly M. Brady. Sade Dominique Bramwell. Karina Bravo. Cheryl M. Brifo. Brianna Brion. Danielle Lee Brown. Jessica Chantel Brown. Madeline Swain Bookman. Sage Buckley. Stephanie Alyssa Buell. Michael Cagey. Alex Camacho. Alexandria Starr Campbell. Angelica Ariana Canales. Tiffany Canavado. Cherie Cannon. Garrigan Grace Canzano. Paige A. Carbone. Taylor Jasmine Carmona. Amanda Jackson Caro. Kylie Marie Carroll. Anika Carter. Nicole Marie Carey. Kathleen Duarte Costano. Diana Cristina Castillo. Samantha Castro. Jennifer Castro Deramillo. Kaylee Lucille Silieri Elzal. Patricia R. Soretto. Carlos Casala Janguin. Chanel Linnea Chapman. Iris Charnico. Julianne Chavez. Tawana Cherubin. Margaret Chiapetti. Lizette Crismon. Edward G. Chung. Rose Sigler. Nele E. Cintron. Kayla Rose Siak. Abigail Catherine Clark. Diana Cobo. Julia Claire Cofrancesco. Erin Joshua Cohen. James William Cohen. Natasha Collins. Melissa Cologne. Shayla Ayana Constant. Marinella Constantino. Allison Jacqueline Converi Johnson. Diana Carolina Cordova Morajan. Joe Carrillo Jumbo. Sarah Danielle Costa. Haley Marie Craver. Vanity Crenshaw. Rael Cruz. Amorina Crispino. Naraya Nicole Cross. Reese Gabrielle Teodora Cruz. Samuel Cruz. Jennifer Cruz Rodriguez. Liliana Cuadrado. Angie Cunha. Monica P. Cummingham. Jonathan Curl. Oh my goodness. Melanie Curry. Come on. Brianna Marie Da Silva. Matthew Dadil. Rachel Davis. Natalie J. DeKiko. Amelia Inez De Jesus. Desiree DeLay Camara. Catherine V. De Leon. Christy Della. Alyssa Delmar. Alyssa Marie Del Sorbo. Jasmine Grimina Dennis. Juliana Denning. Erica Lynn Deswagwin. Dernina Desir. Nicole Devone. Adrian J. Diaz. Angelina Diaz. Alexa Marie DeFiglia. Daniela Shannon Diggins. Ashley Drapkin. Leanne Drum. Grace Durando. Erica Duverne. Kimberly A. Ebo. Emma Rose Eckenroth. Carolyn Edwards. Lindana Kalisa Charisse Edwards. Adelaine Entholt. Adriana Elias Rodriguez. Amanda Grace Eschert. Janelle Escobar. Diana Elizabeth Espejan. Melissa Esposito. Gloria Fabre. Andres Felix. Julia Fernandez. Nicolo M. Ferranti. Alexandria Marie Figueroa. Tana Figueroa. Rebecca M. Finkel. Margaret Fleming. Ariana Isabel Flores. Leora Braca Finkelstein. Gabriella E. Fogel. Leah Joan Foley. Gregory Ford. Khalik E. Fowler. Jennifer Marie Fox. Jamie Lynn Frank. Marlena Liana Frankie. Michelle Franzoso. Amber Lee Frida. Nunzio Antonio Frazina. Sequoia Simone Nicole Fuentes. Leah Marietta Galbadon. Edern J. Gabriel. Jessie Honora Gage. Amanda Gagliano. Olivia Anna Galari. Gabriella Marie Ganjami. Jaxel Garcia. Lucia Sofia Garcia. Rode Tana Gina Gardier. Lisa Goss. Yasina H. Gavalanis. Laura Gaviria Roldan. Kayla Non Gelston. Elenieri Demoso. Savannah Gibson. Ashley Kate Geary. Jasmine Michaela Glod. Joseph Benjamin Glicksberg is the outstanding MSW student on the Newark campus. Congratulations. Princess Zoe O. Godwin. Angelica Gazelle Gomez Sension. Stephanie Gomez Venagas. Nicole Stell Gonzalez. Shauna May P. Gonzalez. Erica Gonzalez Barragan. Ayana Ty Goodwin. Bernade Goring. Tishun Graham. Amaris and Grajales. Jasmine Michelle Grant. David Michael Gravagna. Charlie Gray. Alicia Michelle Greeny. Jennifer Green. Diana Norberg Greenbelt. Corey John Griffin. Keelan Grindle. Alidade Wellwood Grove Tuft. Nicole Garducci. Brianna Guerrero. Caroline L. Guerrero, our speaker today, an outstanding student in the clinical specialization. Emily Gum. Solange K. Gutierrez. Catherine C. Gee. Christine Habib. Valeria Hamer. Lori Hamley. Kelly Therese Hahnemann. Laquan Deshawn Harris. Sarah Hardigan. Natasha Hentz. Alexa Nicole Hernandez. Lainey Laura Hernandez. Edelani Hernandez Delgado. Gabriella Rose Hicken. Ebony Hicks. Sandra A. Highsmith. Brianna Hill. Stephanie Judith Hembles. Felicia Pearl Hughes. Carly Jordan Houlihan. Naomi Devakarmari Hunt. Dixie Ann Hutchison Roberts. Claire Ibrahim. Kristen Indriso. Naisha L. Ingram. Joanny Sandra Iniguez. Matthew Leve Jacobs. Madeline Page Jacoby. Tamika James. Stephen Janizak. Alexandra Rose Januzzi Thomas. Jay Jeremio. Louis Benjamin Jenkins III. Amanda Jerome. Kiara Jesus Rosario. Ana K. Jimenez. Jacqueline Yoa. Claire Johnson. Rosie Jean. Kylie K. Johnson. Carly Johnston. Sarah Ann Jones. Daniel Lewis Jantz. Leticio Hugo. Julia Jakowski. Juliana Komowitz. Marissa Kamburis. Leah Kamensky. Jessica Eileen Cardaz. Gabriella Katz. Ruth A. Kime Trailer. Kayla Nicole Kendrick. Jada Marie Kennedy. Caroline K. Kiesling. Sarah Fronhofer Kim. Marissa Rose Class. Emily Joy Schulman-Knopf is the outstanding student on the New Brunswick campus. Congratulations, EJ. Jacob Kurgel. Madeline A. Kopak. Candace Nicole Costed. Kyle Andrew Kozak. Alyssa Cooney. Ashali Kumar. Megan Miriam Kurian. Victoria Grace Kurz. Shannon Nicole Kutcher. Ava Jean Guan. Jessica Rose Ligari. Marcuson Lane. Mahogany Lane. Jennifer LaRosa. Mia Larson. Damaris Laureano. Zeta Ann Ledbetter. Heejun Lee. Ashley Patricia Lemise. Danica Leon. Nadia Lescott Porter. Victoria Hannah Levine. Brianna Lewis. Sarah Lewis. Virginia DePietres Lewis. Catherine Gardner Linehan. Alicia Danielle Lopez. Jessica Carolina Lopez. Jenna Lorenz. Tiffany Lowe. Denise Esther Lugo. Danielle E. Ludner. Tony Ann Marie McLean. Natalie Dodo Macarania. Kaylee Madison. Daniel Joseph Magalinsky. Deanna Louise Mahana. Mona Mahapatra. Anna Maldonado. Damian Edward Maldonado, Jr. Kaylee Rose Maman. Abigail Mamie. Kylie Rose Mandeville. Alessa Elena Manuola. And her brother, Joseph Anthony Manuola, the fifth. Elizabeth Marchese. Linda J. Marinin. This is Tamaris Nicole Marquez Pimentel, and she is the outstanding MSW student in the blended program. Ashley Nicole Martin. Emily Martin. Kai Martin. Sharonda M. Martin. Jessica Marucci. Ekaterina Mazinkova. Daniel Oscar Maslak. Amber Matos. Nicole M. Matos Martiak. Cheyenne C. Matranga. Curly J. Mayorga. Alyssa Michelle McClure. Crystal McDaniel. Fiona McDonald. Ashley Ann McDowell. Lauren Marie McFarland. Kara Morgan McGuire. Shamar Matthew McKenzie. Chantel May McLean. Katira Nicole McMillan. Diana McNiff. Nicole Meehan. Gabriela Melendez. Amy Marie Mercado. Ashley Christine Meir. Fiona Mezzarina. Catherine Michelli. Anyanya Marie Miller. Kiana Miller. Tiffany Miller. Olivia Carmen Miller Hernandez. Melanie Miranda Riano. Delia Rose Michelle. Connie Lee Mitchell. Naraya Africa McKnight. Brianna Nicole Mitchell. Mohammed El Sayed Mohammed. You got to get the right diploma. Thanks for your patience. Virginia Moyes. Olivia Molinari. Ibania Monique Moody. This is Jennifer Renee Moon, and she is the outstanding student in the intensive weekend program. Ashley Renee Morales. Lisa Morgenthau. Jonathan Jude Morris. Gabriella Marie Moulton. Cheryl Moultrie. Altea Rose Muzakas. Alexandra Moya. Corinne Moya Tassi. Najla Mariam Muhammad. Samantha Marie Muller. Sandy Ahmed Mokbel. Isabel Seaton Murphy. Julia Rose Narjrian. Nicole Lindsay Napolitano. Lauren A. Nash. Sophia Navarrete. Lizette Nazario. Constance Nelson. Michelle Renee Brummel Nelson. Alfreda Valerio Neto Nisa. Kirsten Neville. Susie Nifa. Hannah Francis Noel. Dylan Fernando Nunez. Nexi Maciel Nunez. Angel J. Nunez Veliz. Kelsey Jean O'Connor. Lovely Octavius. Oteji Alexis Agabivir. Joseph Adeboye Alatunji Jr. Ana Karina Oliveira. Angie Isabel Oliveros. Allison Elizabeth O'Neill. Nicole Alejandra Orellano. Brini D. Ozasco Merazegos. Ashley Bella Orr. Geraldine Ortiz. Karen Andrea Orzero. Allison Michelle Osorio. Jessica I. Pacheco. Denise Padilla. Elise Pajot Keeler. Bianca Rose Pelistis. Jasmine Palin. Catherine V. Popolsky. Raelian G. Pardo. Chelsea Veronica Parisi. Hannah Park. Rachel Ann Parsons. Elizabeth Pasmancier. Ashton Lee Patterson. Tabitha Haley Paul. Alyssa Rose Paulison. Janaya A. Pecco. Kersey Maria Perez Bruon. Sophia Rose Perello. Joanne Charlotte Perkins. Deborah Rachel Perlmutter. Remby R. Perry Jr. Andrea Prasad. Erin Elizabeth Petrosino. Sarah M. Phillips. Nancy Pierre. Samantha Piesco. Chinquestia Pilku. Ava Peary. Camille Julian Poblet. Louis Joseph Police. Alexandria Nicole Porini. Qadir Lamore Porter. Jennifer Porterial Escoto. Juliana Posada. Shakayla Posey. Kaylee Brielle Poston. James Rollins Price. Ashley Marie Purvis. Laura Christina Pizzulo. Amina Crotre. Genesis O. Quezada. Jasenia Rosemarie Calise. Serene Rahman. Sarah Rami. Juliana Ray. Sabrina Ramos. Diana Francis Rambino. Lars Eric Rasmussen. Jennifer Restucci Smith. Miguel Reyes. Julia M. Rios. Asia Jamie Ritker. Chloe Nicole Rivas. Tiffany Nicole Rivera. Giancarlo Rivera. Catherine Jean Rizzo. Chloe Angelina Roberts. Jocelyn Robbins. Jasmine E. Rocha. Brianna Rodriguez. Jessica Marie Rodriguez. Leslie Rodriguez. Michelle A. Rodriguez. Nayeli Rodriguez. Uralis Rodriguez. Parker Webb Rogers. Ariana Marie Roland. Johanna T. Romano Matos. Maritza Alicia Rosario. Shelby Nicole Rosen. Joshua N. Rothberg. Dominique Danae Roundtree. Alina Rochowdhury. Shinisti Marie Ruiz. Nayana Saab. Jennifer Saba. Roger Dominique Sachi II. Nicole Francine Saldana. Carly Salus. Paula M. Sylvant. Isaiah Sams. Chanel Samuel. Kathleen Sanchez. Vanessa Carolina Sanchez. Alejandra Sanchez Medina. Cecilia Sanders. Serenity Shayla Sanders. Tiara Sanders. Rosalind Angela Sanaford. Demilis Santana Vargas. Desari Santiago. Devin Nicole Santiago. Mackenzie Christine Santoro. And her sister, we forgot this one, Morgan Avery Santoro. Congratulations. Taylor Sargis. Laura Elaine Savitsky. Haley Schaefer. Kelly Ann Schaffer. This is Sydney Allison Scher, and she is the outstanding student in the clinical specialization. Sydney Allison Scher. Catherine Schwartz. Sarah Elizabeth Scott. Valerie Sams. Diana P. Sergwin. Tareem Shakay. Brianna L. Shannon. Jada Lee Sharp. Emily Catherine Shea. Audrey Rose Shelley. Corinne Antoinette Shields. Julie Silberman. Nahari K. Silva. Yasmin Anita Simmons. Jennifer Simon. Olivia Renee Skirvin. Chloe Sklans. Jacob Matthew Skurjak. Marnina Lee Sloan. Geneva A. Smith. Maria Luisa Solis. Andrea Lee Soper. Julia Spano. Taylor Amanda Sproul. Rebecca Lee Sagro. Jamie St. Andrew. Shayla Lynn Staple. Taylor Capri Stevens. Keisha Carletta Stuger. Bria I. Stiles. Jaden M. Sullivan. Julia Elizabeth Sullivan. Macy Sullivan. Samara Sutton. Alexandra Swagler. Delita Sweat. Mateo David Zarka. Radeja Talley. Risalis Tavares. Andrew Mina Majed Tawadros. Rupert Thomas Jr. Tiffany B. Thompson. Luke Casey Thorpe. Rosario Tlapa Baez. Gianna Nicole Taco. Emily Marie Tomas. Carmen Nancy Therese. Isaiah D. Therese. Jenny Lee Therese. Joseph Keller Tozzi. Deanna R. Triasi. Sussex Trinidad. Nicole A. Trumbull. Daisha N. Tucker. Shanae A. Tucker. Ann Douglas Turvey. Olivia Osei Tutu. Emily Umanzor. Chuama Ubawani. Mariela Urena. Lisbeth Joanna Valdez. Lydia Vanessa Valencia. Julia Marie Valario. Tawana K. Valley. Flor Vasquez Vallejo. Maria Alejandra Vasquez. Carrion Viola. Maria Simona Vascaboino Cavo. Samara Belinda Walker. Allison Waller. Theodore Alexander Ward. Leora T. Wasserman. Tara Wenner. Cheyenne Welch. Erica Denise Wesley. Linwood Malaki White. Matthew T. Wickman. Bailey Wildhauer. Patricia Ann Williams. Julia Wilson. Malaysia Tanika Witherspoon. Jana Wolf. Gabriella Wolfmuller. Lily Grace Worcester. Latasha Worthen Barnes. Anna Jumba. Ting Wang Xu. Asia Jonay Yarborough. Arancia Carla Zabata. Amanda Zimmerman. Jenna Ruth Zucker.
Okay, round of applause for all those MSW graduates. Amazing. So hang in there with us, everyone. Last, but certainly not least, we've come to our baccalaureate graduates who have worked long and hard these past 4 years for their first higher education degree. Please welcome Assistant Dean of Bachelor's Programs and Director of the BASW program in New Brunswick, our own Dr. Dwayne Battle, who will present the student awards and the graduates.
Let me begin by thanking all of you who are still here and ask those of you who have an inkling to leave to please stay for the remainder of our celebration as we recognize our undergraduate students. I'd like to invite Dr. Natalie Bembry to come and join me as we recognize our undergraduate student awardees.
The Dean's Recognition Award for Excellence in the Camden BASW program goes to Alexis Hatfield.
The Dean's Recognition Award for Excellence in the New Brunswick BASW program goes to Cynthia Duchantier.
And the Brian C. Wright Social Work Award goes to Shanice Orozco.
Dean Leibowitz, we are pleased to present to you today the 2026 baccalaureate degree candidates from the New Brunswick and Camden campuses. They have completed all of the requirements and are therefore entitled to all the rights and privileges of the BASW degree. As their names are read, each graduate will hand his or her card to the reader. As you come forward, we will applaud you. Let's make some noise for our undergraduate students.
Alexis R. Abreu. Elnora L. Alexander. Jaina A. Alcrudi. Latriana Alston. Jalen C. Armstead. Serena L. Austin. Manika Azulin. Alexis D. Barkowitz. Janice Beverly. Viola Botros. Patrick P. Bouchereau. Alan J. Calley. Christopher Koski. Bridget A. Crespo. Brianna R. Doroff. Carly Davis. Deshaun Davis. Nicholas C. Diamante. Adair Dick. Jenna DeMonte. This is Cynthia M. Duchanterre, who's the outstanding bachelor's student on the New Brunswick campus. Shaylee Dunn. Christiana M. Ibeck. Sorry, thanks. Cassandra M. Fallas. Lucia C. Gaffney. Gabrielle Galvez. Daniel J. Garcia. Alexander V. Garon. Gabriela S. Giglio. Maria P. Geraldo Viana. Shakima Harris. Alexis Hatfield, outstanding student in Camden. Natalia Hernandez. Carly G. Hoffmeister. Carly R. Jankowski. Burfin Karatep. Rita Khan. Mina Kim. Kaylee E. Lacasse. Marina G. Laurent. Gianna Lindy. Gianna M. Madden. Soledad Martinez. Jessica C. Mays. Samuel J. McIntyre. Dana K. Miller. Surfy Montano Fernandez. Nicole Naranjal. Alexandra A. Ospelt. Jeffrey P. Patson. Crystal Paulino. Elena Y. Perez Quezada. Ava M. Phillips. Abigail R. Polito. Olivia N. Quinn. Gabriella N. Ron. Alma P. Ramos Anelco. Tess L. Rizzi. Shamoya Robinson. Mercedes Rosa, Sean Ruffin, Jack L. Luis, Juliana F. Salazar, Brittany Salerno, Jacqueline Sanchez Garcia, Julie Y. Schwartz, Shayna A. Shepard, Caitlin F. Slade, Chelsea A. Slowly, Charnel Smith, Diana Sotomayor, Brianna Thomas, Kelly J. Thomas, Gabriel D. Trutch, Michael A. Tuzinski, Sameldin Valquez Marquez, Catherine E. Wheatley, Rachel White, Jasmine R. Whitfield, Christopher J. Yakutz,
Thank you, Dr. Battle and Dr. Brembry. Now, as we close our convocation ceremony, I invite all our graduates to join together in one of our graduation's most meaningful traditions. You know what this is? Moving the tassel on your cap. This symbolic gesture is a rite of passage that dates back many years and represents your transition from candidate to graduate, a visual representation of all you have accomplished in this new chapter you're about to begin. With this simple movement, you join generations of scholars who have marked this movement with pride and celebration. Graduates, please join me now in moving your tassels from right side of your cap to the left. I want to thank again all our convocation speaker, Dr. Lindsay, Provost Geary, the faculty and staff, and all of the wonderful students that have graced this auditorium today. We welcome you to please, one last time, just to stay in your seats while the platform party recesses, and then on to your celebrations.